Welcome to this quarter's community class. Today we're going to be doing Pilates and floor-based movement featuring the squish ball. So make sure that you have your squish ball and a few pillows. You're probably going to need more pillows than you think you need. So gather all the pillows. If you are in a clinical setting, yoga blocks are also really nice to have handy. And if you are a higher cervical level athlete that needs more support in seated, you may want to have a wedge or a wall behind you or a therapist or a helper that you can lean up against. Okay. So we're probably going to get to some seated. So getting yourself prepped there. Before we get into class, I just wanted to run through some housekeeping stuff. I'm just going to flash up the liability waiver and the disclaimer. If you are joining class today, it's under the assumption that's under your free will, hopefully. And you just waive all liability of zebrafish neuro. Just sharing a little bit about this work for those of you that are new. I like to call the work that I teach and coach in my sessions, I call it integrated movement sessions. And what the purpose of this is to help you discover your body and create a renewed relationship with your body, or continue to have that relationship with your body, and to increase the integration or the feeling of completeness in your body, this wholeness. I don't necessarily consider the sessions that I offer like a workout. You may or may not get your heart rate up. I just want to put that out there as like, don't expect heart pumping, cardiovascular, sweaty workout. If you sweat, it's more about feeling your body and discovering what your body can do. A couple program pillars in the zebrafish neuro approach. There's 5 program pillars, but I wanted to emphasize in these community classes, what this is all about is giving you an opportunity to explore self-supported movement. So what this means is movement that's not being structured by really rigid equipment. So we're not using standing frames or gym equipment or things to take your body through ranges of motion. We're not using robotics. All of it is about what is it that you can do in this moment with your own body. And I should also mention too, even if you have a helper helping you out, the helper is truly there to be a helper. They're going to grab a ball if it rolls away, or they're going to nudge you in the right direction, or maybe they'll help you get in a position, but the majority of the work should be happening within your own body. Does that sound good? Aligned? Great. So here's how class is going to go today. I'm going to introduce an exercise, and we're going to do it for a rough time interval. I'm not going to be like 32. It'll be a rough time interval, kind of what feels right. That way, if it's a new exercise for you, you can take your time kind of working into it. And if it's an exercise that you already know, I'm going to be offering layers within that exercise to increase the challenge or increase the complexity. I'll give you some different things to think about. So maybe the exercise looks like something you've done in the past, but you haven't thought about it in this different way. And then, of course, modifications if we need to troubleshoot something. So a base exercise, and then I'm going to add layers, and we'll be in it for a timed interval. Okay? All right, let's move. If you haven't already gotten onto your left side, get onto your left side and grab your squish ball and have it ready. All right, so we're going to start with on our left side, and you're going to take your squish ball, and it's going to go behind your hips. And I'm just going to turn around for this part of it. It's going to go behind your hips here, and you'll be laying on your side. If you'd like a pillow, by all means, grab a pillow. But the ball's going to sort of like shove into your hips there. So when you do your trunk rotation open, your hips are not also rolling with you. So you're going to get this really nice twist in the spine. Okay. So I'm going to turn to face you again, starting on the left side. So the ball is behind us, and we're going to be here laying on your side. So again, I'm going to give you base layer exercise and then add on. So if it feels easy at the beginning, it's okay. Make sure your knees are curled up, and we're just going to start with the hand on your chest or on your shoulder, and you're going to roll the torso so that the chest is facing the ceiling. And then roll the torso. And actually, instead of just coming into your sideline position, can you roll almost forward? And I like to say like squish the girls. And then roll open again. Take a nice inhale when you open. And then exhale to close. Good. Now adding in a little bit of a layer here if you would like. We're going to reach the arm out behind you. This is called a telescoping arm. And then you're going to roll the arm across and reach forward this way. Good. If you feel like this bottom arm is blocking your potential, you can certainly bring the arm up overhead if your shoulders allow for it. Okay. We're going to go into your rolling open and into your rolling closed. And go beyond, again, that sideline stacked position. Good. If you would like, we can turn this into a little bit of a pinwheel where the arm sweeps up and around and you create a halo, and then the arm sweeps past your hips, depending on tricep situation. So you can stick with the telescoping arm if the triceps are giving you a little tricky trouble. Something to think about is when the hand sweeps past your hips, can you do a little sit-up with your head and look down past your hips? And then let your head kind of be lazy again as you circle around. So you're getting this little side crunch as the arm is coming around and through. Okay. A way that you can get yourself into that little side crunch a little bit more would be pressing down through this bottom arm. So I'm going to press down through the bottom arm, or almost like slide the armpit down a little bit to lift. And then that'll maybe help you get over the hump there. All right, we're going to do a couple more there. I'm just going to let you play and explore with whatever version. Maybe one more time. You got it. On your next sweep, you're going to grab the ball and we're going to place it kind of underneath the rib cage here. So I'm going to show you what it looks like, and then I'll get closer to the camera. But basically, you're going to kind of be sort of like laying on top of it, but kind of on the side. And so the ball should be kind of on this, and it should be sort of like pushing your tummy bits a little bit up towards your belly button. So I like to like kind of roll back, place the ball, shove it in, and then like roll on top of it. Ugh. Yeah. And this is going to be what I call an organ hug. And you're on your left side, so it's an organ hug for your stomach. So if you feel a little like gastro reflux, you might be doing it right. And if it's way too uncomfortable, you're going to take the ball out, and we'll just continue what you were doing before without the ball there. We're going to do that little bit of a roll, but it's not going to be so much of a roll back, because if you rolled back, the ball would probably pop out. So you're just going to work on rolling over on top of the ball and spending a little bit of time there. You can take some big expansive breaths from your ribs behind. But the point is that ball is just giving your abdominals a nice little bit of pressure and feedback and sponging and massage. Yeah, maybe last breath. Nice. And then from here, before we do the other side, we're gonna do what's called sideline hip slides. So we're gonna take this bottom leg and we're gonna slide it all the way straight. The ball is now gonna go underneath your top leg. So pull the leg up, and you want the leg to be in a 90-degree angle. Sometimes when you get into this position, the leg just wants to slide off. So sometimes it's nice to put like
a weight or a wall or helper's foot underneath your foot. Okay. Take your time getting here. And as you get settled with this, so on the last one, when we did the trunk rotations, we kept the hips steady and moved the upper half of the spine. This version is going to keep the upper half of the spine steady. So you're going to press into the floor and we're going to move the hips. Yeah. If you place your hand on the floor here, you may be able to get a little bit of like energy, right? Because when we push into the ground here, you activate your armpit muscle and your armpit muscle connects into your core and your core connects into your hips. So that's how you're going to get the control of your hips through like an armpit push. And actually looking down as well, when you nod your chin, that's going to give you a little bit more core access as well.
We had one question.
Yes, ma'am.
What if there's problems using your triceps?
Yep. Then put a yoga block.
And go through the forearm.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
The question for those people that didn't get that said, if you have trouble with your triceps pressing down, you can put a yoga block and work maybe through the triceps here. Let me know how that goes. All right, so we're gonna get just a couple more of these. If you'd like to up level this from just the pressing, you can put your hand on your hip and see if you can get that same activation of the core without having to do the pressing strategy. This might take a little bit more from the bottom arm kind of squeezing under. Yeah. There you go. All right, and then the last version of that would be doing a reciprocal arm swing with the hips. So getting the hips to swing forward when the arm goes back. This would be just like gait, right? There you go. We'll go for a couple more here. There we go. We're getting some good hip movement. 2 and 1. Good. All right. Ball's going to go off to the side and we're going to roll over onto your right side and do that whole series on the right side. So get yourself settled on the right side. So we're going to start with the little cottontail behind you. And then whenever you're ready, we can start doing the trunk rotation. Oh, that's good. Allowing your body to roll open towards the ceiling. And by doing just the trunk rotation, this really ensures that you're actually twisting in the spine and not just throwing the arm around, right? Like really make sure that you're getting that trunk rotation first. And then start to add the telescoping arm where you're going to reach forward and reach back. And again, don't worry about, or make sure that you're getting all the way twisting forward too. Don't shortchange yourself, get all the way forward. And then adding a little bit more of that halo effect. So you're going to stretch the arm open and around. And if there's a tricep thing going on, work around the tricep or go back to your telescoping arm. And then last time we did this on the other side, I said when your hand sweeps from back to front and you're sweeping past your hips, we're going to do this little lever moment from the bottom arm where you can float the head up and get almost a little side crunch. And then reaching around. Little side crunch. Maybe that exhale helps gather yourself.
Mhm.
Okay, one question over here.
Another question.
Lauren wants to know how she should ground into her bottom arm if she's having problems with the tricep.
Like with the
Yep, she's gonna just do a little shrug this way. I don't know if you can demonstrate that for her. Like someone tickle her armpit and tell her to like slide her armpit down.
Slide it down.
It's the bottom arm, the right arm.
like so bringing that closer towards your hips.
Yep, that's a good cue. Mhm. Did that work?
Go to the hips.
I think I just need the arm longer for
I don't know.
Well-
I'm gonna meet you guys while you figure that out. It's a nice discovery today, figuring that out. To read more into that, Lauren, that's part of the fascial lines. And I'll send you after in the replay, I'll send you a little, it's a webinar that's like $20 and it talks all about how to leverage your shoulders to find your trunk muscles. All right, where were we? We're gonna take the ball and we're gonna place it now in your abdomen. So remember, this is that one where you're kind of sticking it in and then rolling over the top. And so it's like front and kind of underneath you. Yeah. And it should be pushing all your tummy bits. Like move all that tissue aside because you want that mobilization of your digestive system. And on the right side, this is your liver and your descending colon. Oh. This side feels really good on me. This side needs it. And you can do a little rocking, or you can just do some nice belly breathing here. Trying to get the expansive breath. All right, then we're gonna take that bottom leg, push it straight. Top leg comes up on top of the ball. And again, if your leg is drifting away, you can put a weight or a sticky mat or a doorstop or a helper's foot just underneath so it doesn't slide. If you do have any foot activation, this is a good opportunity for you to maybe like dig your toe in. Okay, and then we're gonna keep the hand down or use the yoga block for some pressure. And then that pressure is gonna help you find your core and your core is gonna help you find your hips. Yeah. And the whole objective of this is to get your spine moving. We did the spine moving from the top half, now we're getting the spine moving from the bottom half. This helps with bowel movements, this helps with breathing, lymph drainage in your belly, pelvic floor. So many good things for this one. Yeah, trying to leverage that bottom side and the top side versus just throwing. All right, if you need a little up level, you're gonna have your hands on your hips. And if you really want to up level, it would be the reciprocal pattern. And again, the objective is just to get your spine moving. So if you're doing it, you're doing it. Yeah, nice, Lauren. All right. We're gonna do maybe 3 more there. And 2. And 1. Okay. The next exercise we're gonna do is gonna be on your stomach. We're gonna do prone hip wiggles. Or I show you the exercise and you are nervous about it because of a suprapubic catheter, you can go back to doing this thing because it's the same objective and it'll get you the same thing.
Okay. I'll explain it in a second. So the ball is gonna go anywhere on the front side of your body. So if you have a suprapubic catheter, you can have the ball higher and it won't impact. It does sort of take your breath away at first because it is on your diaphragm. So just give yourself a second to like be like, oh, okay, I've got other muscles that help me breathe. The higher it is, the more it's going to give you an organ massage. So if you have trouble with bowel movements or even like you feel like your diaphragm's really stuck, having the ball a little higher will be helpful. If you want more down low, I'm sorry, I should say your belly button is going to now be more like your digestive system. And then even lower than that is going to be a little bit more in like your low back and more about like hip mobility. So pick your poison. We're going to be here for about a minute and you can put that ball in any place that you want to go. Play around with it. There might be a spot that feels sticky that you need to revisit a little bit longer. I know it can be uncomfortable at first. Just let yourself settle into it. It's always a little aggressive, at least when I get on there at first, but oh, then my body really loves it because it's just like a very novel thing than what I'm used to. Even, you know, obviously I don't use a wheelchair, but I sit a lot at my desk because I'm all on remote stuff like computer work now. So yeah, nice. We'll go for another 20 seconds or so. Yeah. All right. So this is where we're going to start to look around and see where our pillows are or our bolster or our second squish ball. So we've got some nice mobility in your back. We are going to need one squish ball on the chest and then a pillow or a smaller squish ball underneath your hips to make room for tighter hip flexors. So you can use a bolster, a yoga block, whatever underneath the hips. And then the ball is going to be in front of your chest. Yeah. And as long as your back feels good, I'm happy. So yeah, you can, I mean, you could use use one squish ball, but sometimes that can get a little bit too extendy in the back. So a ball. We're going to start with just your head draping down over the top of the ball so you can get a really nice like thoracic flexion. And then pressing down through the elbows or the pinky sides of your hands, we're going to pull yourself up into your prone elbow prop, lifting up through your head. So you're going to be on your elbows. Just on your elbows to start, I'll layer in. With this one, you want to make sure that your head is long in your neck. So we don't want to be cranking our neck here. That's cutting off the blood supply to the rest of your spine. So we want to be long through the base of the neck, pushing down through the ground and widening in your collarbones. Yep. And we're just going to do that a couple more times. You're going to drape. You kind of get lazy. You're like hanging off your shoulders. Push the ground away, widen your collarbones, lengthen through the back of your neck. About like someone pulling on your high pony there. Nod your chin in. Find all that strength in your upper back. There you go. Yes, that's looking good, team. Nice job. And then bring it down. Inhale. Push the ground away. And lift. Very nice. All right, you're going to stay here or add on. Here's the next layer. This would be if you have a little bit of triceps in you. So we're going to reach the arms out in front. And instead of pressing through this way, we're going to press through this way. Hey, Marina, you're back. All right, so we have the arms out in front. We have pinky side of the hand down, palms facing one another. Let yourself drape out, shrug the shoulders up. And then push down through the hands. And then find your extension there. And it's going to feel like you're doing an armpit slide. Either way, either exercise that you're doing is going to feel like an armpit slide. Inhale, reach out. Press down. Plug the armpits down the sides of your body and lift. So this is the armpit slide thing that I was trying to have Lauren do when she was on her side, just to be clear. So this is where you would train that. Okay, inhale out. Exhale, pull. All right, we're gonna do 6 more, please. Right, Marina, these are your pull-ups. Inhale. Exhale, pull. You're like, not the pull-ups. Pull-up initiation. 3. Upper back should be working. Lats should be working. 2. And then let's go one more time. Lift. You got it. And then release all the way down. Nice job. Bring your elbows back underneath you. And we're going to do a little bit of a rotational prop here. So this is in an effort to start getting into side elbow prop, but we're going to kind of ease our way, work the transition. So the hips are going to fall off to one side, and then you're going to slide your hand back to about where your belly button is, and then push as much as you can. And then release back down. You'll replace your elbows. The hips go to the other side, tail wag. Hand slides back, and then push through that side and look over the top of your shoulder. And then release down, replace, slide, and push. And that movement, the layers on that is just the movement gets bigger and bigger. So over, around, and then maybe you start to fully like slide onto your side elbow prop. Yep, getting the hips to open up. And that's why having that ball a little bit lower. That's why we did those hip wiggles at the beginning. Having that ball a little bit lower gives you that space to like roll over the top. Otherwise, your back extensor tone may get in the way. Nice. All right, we're gonna do one more, but then make sure that you're facing me. So 1 or 2 more, but make sure you're facing me. Good. Push up. Awesome. Okay. One ball is going to go underneath your rib cage. This is going to be a fact checker. The bigger the ball, the better. Bend your knees up so that you're in a fetal position again with the legs. If you have a second ball, you can put that one also behind your hips to prevent you from sliding that way. So now we're in our side elbow prop. We're supported by the ball. And we've got this ball underneath keeping us honest there. I'll give y'all another little bit to get settled because I know that that's a big transition.
The bag, okay.
And then you got maybe another ball under your hip. You guys needed a bigger ball for her. She's got longer torso.
For sure.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Okay.
Got
Thank
it.
you.
Yep. I'm gonna add a layer. So if this feels challenging for you, you're gonna stay here. I'm gonna show you the layers if you'd like them. Okay, and then on the last one, we're gonna go up and hold. Good. Up and hold. Now, this ball, like I said, it's a fact checker. So from here on out, you have to lift up off the ball no matter what you're doing. Arm is gonna reach out on a diagonal. This is called star. If your ribs got lazy on the ball, bring your hand back and bring yourself off the ball, all right? So we're not progressing unless you're able to lift. We're just gonna do a little disco here. 4, 3, every time your hand comes down, there's a little reinvestment. 2, and 1. Good. Last layer that I'm gonna add here, reinvest, lift the ribs. We're gonna reach the arm forward, but don't let yourself fall. Don't let yourself fall into it. Keep the lift, keep the fact checker right there. We're gonna go up and out. We're gonna do 4 of these. 4, 3, push the ground away, stay tidy. 2, and last one. Beautiful, and release. Nice job. We're gonna lay all the way out and just come off of that elbow so you can take it a rest, give it a rest. I know that was a very, very quick series. We're gonna switch sides so we can get a little taste of everything. All right, so we can roll off. If you would like to, you can just roll to the other side, but you might want to have someone bring the camera around to the other side. I'm of course gonna keep facing you all. And then we're gonna add the layers. And 2 more. And last one. Up and hold. Okay, star balance. We reach the arm up. Hand comes down, give yourself a little investment, reinvestment. Did you get saggy? Reach. Hand down. Did you get saggy? Reinvest. And then up. Nice job, Marina. Open heart. Lift. I would say for Lauren's group, she needs a bigger ball and it needs to be more under her waistline versus under her armpit. Would be helpful next time. Good. One more time, up and hold. Now, keep doing the discos or keep doing the rib lifts. Otherwise, we have 6 of these. Arm comes forward, but don't let yourself rotate. Lift. It's all about stability. You're holding a plank and we're making some chaos. 3, 4, pressing through the palm of your hand as well. That's going to get some triceps. So lovely. Last 2. I know that's a lot of work in that shoulder. Keep pushing the ground away. Last one. Nice. Good. Whew. And then let's all the way drape. Let our necks have a rest. And if you'd like to, you can bring the other arm overhead. Sometimes doing a little roll with the breath is nice. Yeah. All right. The last bit we're going to do is in seated. So we're going to start in a seated, couple options, seated long sit, seated ring sit, or seated cross-legged, your choice. So depending on like hamstring tightness or whatever, when you get into seated, it's really, really important that you're propped up on top of your sits bones. Oh, look at my posture today. Propped up on top of your sit bones. So if your legs are straight and you have tight hamstrings, it's just going to pull your sit bones underneath you and pull you into this flex spine. So then I would recommend we need to be in your ring sit or cross-legged. And then you can use your ball again as a little cottontail, kind of like scoot it in, and that will post up your pelvis. And so your pelvis is nice and stacked, and then it just makes the rest of the posture nice and easy there. Yeah. And we are going to do, so either cottontail bunny, or if Lauren's going to sit up against maybe some of her crew, she could be here. I would say for if she's going to sit up against the crew, have a ball between her and the helper. So she's got this sense of still like kind of like wiggly freedom in seated. Otherwise, we're going to do a side bend. So we're going to take your hand out, post it, and just take a nice inhale to stretch over the top. Or if you have a tricep thing going on, you can keep the elbow bent. And then lifting up and over. And we're just going to do these cartwheels side to side. Nice. Let's add, if you'd like to layer in, so you're going to add a rotation. So you're going to be in your side bend. You're going to reach on the rotation. Push through the hand that's still on the floor. So you're getting this like reach through one side and push through the other. That's going to really wind up your spine. Then we'll come and visit your side bend, cartwheel over, and we'll go to the other side. So there's going to be a push to get the ribs to lift again. Good thing we did that before. We prepped it. Rotate. In the rotation, you're pushing through the hand and reaching with the other arm, so you're getting the wind up. And then up and over. Inhale. Beautiful. And everyone's going to go at their own pace, so don't feel like you need to stay on me. Like I said, timed intervals. You're just exploring this for what it is. Getting your, if this is new for you, this is getting your baseline for like, what is it that I'm able to do and what's challenging and what can I do to make this better? Yeah. We're gonna go one more. And reach. Nice. Mm-hmm. We're gonna do a half straddle stretch. So we're gonna keep one leg bent in front and one leg is gonna stretch out. So it'll be something, let me get in a better spot. Something like this. Okay. And then we're gonna rotate and be planted on or around this leg. You can also be on your elbow if your triceps are challenging you today. Yeah. So we're going to do a little cat-cow here where you're going to pull yourself into a little bit of extension. And this is going to stretch that hip for sure. Maybe even the inner thighs. It may even roll the leg depending on where your tightness is. And then you're going to try to get your booty meat to come back down onto the floor. So you're going to pull yourself up. And then booty meat goes back down. From the other side of things, it'll look like this. Lift. And then sink. And you can round your spine fully and intentionally, not slouching, but full intentional flexion, rolling for the extension. Okay. If you would like another layer to this, you would sweep this leg back and turning it into a Z-sit. If you'd like the other layer, okay? Same idea, press and then down. We're just gonna be on this side for a couple more. What if you made it slinky? So you go tail, slink up to your head, and then tail, slink down to your hips. Yeah. Nice. Maybe 4 more. Mm-hmm. And that armpit slide, the thing that's pulling you forward, that's the armpit slide. We did that in the Y arms earlier when you were doing this. So it's this very similar activation pattern from that exercise. So you can carry that into here to help with your pulling. We'll go one more time. And then we're going to do the other side. So switch, the leg's going to slide out, probably slide out, fold back in, and we're going to do the half straddle first. And then if you're interested in the Z-sit, you can fold your leg back for that. All right, so hands are going to be around the bent knee. And we're going to do the pulling to get your chest open and a little bit of rolling and like a stretch through the adductor here. Yeah, you guys are doing good. Nice. And then booty meat goes down. Lift. And booty meat goes down. And then, like I said on the other side, can you play with origins of how that flexion and extension happens? So if you're like in your full flexion, then you go like tail lifts and then waves through the system. And then booty meat goes down first and sort of loops you into your flexion. Nice job. Pull. And flex. And pull. And flex. Last one. Oh, we didn't do the Z-sit. I'll give you a couple more. All right, so if you'd like to grab the Z-sit, your leg will fold back. Ideally, you have your laces down. So your tibia, your shin bone's not weirdly rotated. So try to get the ankle to be actually down. And then doing that same push-pull here. Have her lean onto the left elbow.
There you go. Now she should have plenty of space and just move slow, feel the joint. If she, yeah, I would say just move slow. There you go. And then I'd say start with her just on her elbow before she comes all the way up to seated because it's tight. Even there. Yeah, nice. Yep. That's how you work into it. Yeah, good job, guys. Sweet. Whew. All done. Maybe 2 more there. Exploring all the ranges in your spine and your shoulders and how your shoulders interact with your back and your neck and your head. Awesome. Okay. We're going to finish with, I'm not a yoga teacher, but we're going to finish it with Shavasana. So you're going to pick whatever position you would like to finish in, anything that's comfortable. I'm going to recommend prone drape. So I know Shavasana is usually on your back and you're just like, meh, but I'm going to propose that we do a prone drape here. So we have the ball underneath your sternum, like kind of in between the nipple line. And then elbows are splayed if your shoulders handle it. And then your head is just resting on your knuckles. Whatever you choose, your body should not be holding tension. You shouldn't feel like you're holding your body up in any way. So you can do it on your back, on your side, or on your front. Pick any position that you'd like. Use your squish ball and use pillows to support your body. Fill in the gaps, as I say, so that way you don't have to hold yourself against gravity at all. If you're feeling a little spicy in the low back, again, you can put that pillow or your ball underneath your hips, so you're really truly nice and open in your lumbar. And we're just going to be here for 2 minutes of some breath work, or just enjoy the posture. But basically you're going to inhale for 4 seconds and exhale for 6 seconds. I'll let you count for yourself because I get tired of my own voice. Inhale for 4 seconds, exhale for 6. We've got about another minute to enjoy that. Sometimes it's nice to imagine a ball of light moving up and down your spine. So as you inhale, the ball of light goes to your skull or the base of your skull. And as you exhale, it travels down your spine, even through the site of your injury, down into the lowest parts of your sacrum where your tailbone is. And then you travel that ball of light in and up with the inhale and down with the exhale. Creating a really nice kind of passageway from the top of your spine to your bottom of your spine. Go ahead and take your last 3 breaths. How full can they be? Two more. And last one. Let your breath return to normal. Take a moment to have some gratitude for yourself for showing up and trying something different. Giving yourself some space and energy to explore. And then picture one thing in your head that brings you joy.
Just absolute pure joy. Start to wiggle yourself back to life. Especially if you're on a ball, you can start to wiggle around. Nice job, everyone. Excellent work.
Quick announcement. As promised on Instagram, I don't know if you saw it, but in this class, I was going to announce a new offering that's coming in April. So I'm very excited. I'm going to be offering a group coaching series. It'll be a 6-week series that will meet twice a week. And we're going to be going through a lot of exercises like this. This cohort that I'm doing starting in April, it's specifically for cervical level athletes and those interested in learning about those foundations of scapular glide and core connections through the fascial lines, getting better at rolling over, postural work, sitting up, things like that. So I'm excited to announce that that's going to start the week of April 6th and run through May 14th. And we meet twice a week. I'm structuring it differently than this type of class per se. And differently than I think a lot of like general group exercise classes, because the first class of the week, which will be a Tuesday, I'm going to have kind of like a educational lecture where we're going to be going through some anatomy, some of the why. And then the rest of that session will be like drills and troubleshooting for a particular exercise. So for example, if you had trouble getting in side elbow prop, we'd have a whole class that is just side elbow prop troubleshooting and like how to get that better. Then the Thursday class would be something a bit more like this, where we're taking the concepts that we learned in the Tuesday class and bringing them into more of a movement flow. So you're like moving through exercises. I'm also structuring it so that you and I would do a one-on-one intake call it's like a 30-minute intake call where I can get to know you and know some of your challenges. So that way, when we get in the group setting, I'm already ready to offer those modifications in the group setting. And I've got them all packed up and ready. So look out for that. Because you're here live, the registration portal is actually already live. So if you want to just go do it, go do it. But I am going to be launching that through the newsletter within the next couple of days. So you can keep your eyes out for that. I'm keeping it to a class of 6, so it's still quite small and personalized. But yeah, if that interests you, check that out. Otherwise, thanks for joining me. I'm going to stop the recording and just open up the floor for anyone that has questions or we want to talk through things. I've got about 5-10 minutes to just sort of chit chat and say hi to the community. So